doing what he does. And
you got those receipts
What receipts?
from the Dominican.
Yeah.
we'll be able to cover those for you.
Oh,
Okay.
reimbursement.
Yeah, no, I mean, you need to keep all that.
So without further ado, Miss D, what is up? What's going on with the Braves? And before you get too deep into it, let me see here. There was one question I had for you. Where does that go to? Oh yeah, this guy here. I know you can't see it. Ian Anderson. What's? I've read a little on him. Are they keeping him? Is he coming or is he going?
As far as I know, either go keep him.
Okay.
Keep him one more year. He needs to have a really good, consistent year, because he's up a couple games and they'll be down for a couple games.
Now, just from watching and tooling around yesterday, I picked up some stuff with the Braves. It seems like their weakness is just going to be
Pitching.
their depth at pitching. Other than that, they're going to be
Starting, pitching, bullpen.
they're going to be pretty steady. And are they all left-handers? I don't know. It seems like I read that. Like they got a bunch of lefties.
Is Acuna and Albus back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all that
And
matters.
Freeman.
Freeman too. But I know you got to have good pitching. But that is good that those
That'll
four.
be their downfall.
Ethan,
What about Nick Markakis?
Ethan needs to talk louder. Okay, we got that. Talk louder.
Nick Markakis?
No, you can't move it because then you can't hear him. Just talk louder.
Well, I'm not going to
Right.
talk much. Nick Markakis.
He came back with the Braves.
Oh, I don't know. I'm asking you.
I haven't seen him on the Braves since 18.
Oh, see? That's how much I know about
Oh, they trade and move stuff around. So
They cut Markakis.
Markakis.
They cut Markakis for Acuna, which seems legit to me.
That's a good trade.
I would say so.
They had to make a spot for right fielder, and they cut Markakis for it.
So they still got Swanson,
And
Culberson.
and saved $9 million.
So they still got Swanson, Culberson.
They're going to make a decision on Austin Riley and Camargo. One of them will be traded by opening day.
now Camargo's the third baseman, by the way, John. I like him. I think he had a bad year before last when he first come. He was
He ain't no Chipper Jones.
no. I watched him play, and I've coached hitting and kids hit the ball, and he's opening up his front too early, and he's not getting his foot down right. And I mean, I was doing
I've heard a
technical
lot about
stuff,
Camargo. I just haven't seen him, but I like to watch Austin play.
but he played better last year. Camargo had a better year. I think his batting average went up. He had a few home runs, and of course they won the league. And
Yeah, went to the World Series. Well, they went to the
NLCS.
NLCS.
I mean,
and had a 3-1 lead.
they had a good year.
Oh, yeah, they did. How many games did they win?
95? No. If it was a real season, I read it would have been like 95.
Oh, okay. So they won that much
It was like
percentage.
45.
So they would have, but
20 or something
if
like
it
that.
had been a regular, say they would have went 95 and 67, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Do you think they have a chance to go back to the NLCS?
NLCS, yes. You get swept by the Dodgers. Because the Dodgers have a 6-man pitching staff, and their 6-man's better than a lot of teams' number 2.
6-man pitching staff.
Well, I mean, you was talking about Austin Riley. I mean, looks like he batted like 500. Batted about 500 last year.
Stick him out in left field.
400
I think that's what they could do.
But he didn't play every day, though. Did he?
He had
I don't
almost.
know what the deal is with Enciarte. What's the deal with him? I can't find nothing on him.
Now, Swanson, is he still? I mean, looks like they still got him listed to play shortstop. That's what I read this last night. Luke Jackson at pitching.
Yeah, that's the one they don't like. The fans around here. What I've seen from Facebook, they don't care much for it.
Ian Anderson's the best, in my opinion, when he's on.
He played at Calvary Christian Academy. He's from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He's 6'2". He's about 30 years old.
They drafted a pitcher out of Vanderbilt a couple years ago that should be coming up some point at this year. He's pretty good.
Vanderbilt's had a great baseball program.
Oh yeah,
They do.
Yeah. What's the deal with was the Marlins pitcher that was at the Braves and went to the Marlins and he's coming back? Or I read that somewhere yesterday. I think I posted it on the news on our page the other day. They're trying to make a deal for him to come back and finish his career as a Brave. He had started as a Brave, So how do you think they're going to do this year with this lineup? We've kind of talked about their lineup, and we know we pointed out their weaknesses.
I think they'll go to the NLCS and go 5 or 6 games with the Dodgers. They'll say my playoff teams from the NL are the Dodgers, the Padres. Who imagined you'd be saying that?
Wow.
I know.
How long since they've been?
No, Padres, man. Let me tell you,
They got
a
amazing shortstop.
They're
Tatis
good.
Jr.
They're good at everything.
Are they still in San Diego?
Yeah, they're gonna have a good baseball team this year.
They got a $300 million infield.
Really?
Yeah. I think they're the highest marketed infield in the league.
So you think the Braves, Padres, Dodgers, obviously.
Cardinals,
Cardinals
and
always,
Phillies or Nationals, whoever gets that other wild card spot.
What about in the American League?
I think the Washington plays later, or maybe playing right now.
The Yankees from the East, from the
That's
Central.
a shocker.
Central's probably going to be the White Sox. Every team in that division's mediocre. And from the West, I forget who's in the West.
We'll see how he does on this.
In the West, the Astros or the Angels if they can stay healthy. Angels if they can stay healthy.
Astros have done very well since they went over to the American League.
They've done very well, but they've been crippled since that sign stealing debacle.
But they did good last year, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who won the Dodgers? Win it last year? See, I don't even know who won
the World
the
Series. Yeah, it came down to the Dodgers and the Rays. Shockingly, the Rays' whole starting roster cost like $8 million.
Really? They got that guy from that movie Moneyball. Is he their general manager?
No.
You
They just
remember
happen to
he
have a
did
bunch
that,
of
didn't
no-name guys buy into a process.
he? Really?
Yeah, but the whole 9-man batting lineup cost like $9 million. It was some absurd low number.
How do you get that to happen? How do you get guys to buy into a process when they're already grown men and they want to win now?
What it came down to was the Rays pitching staff. It's probably the second best in the majors.
Well, that's what always wins game. It's pitching. I mean, pitching's what.
But the Dodgers have a 6 or 7 man pitching staff, and their number 6 is better than a lot of teams' number 2.
Yeah.
But you saw Moneyball. He did that with a lot of no-name players, did he not?
Yeah. It's just maybe some self-confidence, and there's a process, and baseball's like chess. It's not like football. I mean, you can have players that are...
I think the COVID played a good bit into it because they were playing in empty stadiums.
They're not... I mean, that Moneyball situation, it's just... It's not like football. Baseball is more like chess. It's about making moves. It's about putting runners in right positions. Because you're not hitting home runs every time. If you can just have a good average
Nowadays
team...
you are. It's either strikeout or go over.
In the 80s and stuff, like when the A's were kicking butt... and stuff, just go out there and you put a good game plan together, and you can go out there and win some games. Put people in scoring position. I mean, I've seen teams.
Marlins made the playoffs with a losing record.
Yeah, it's pitching, man. Pitching is really important to say. I'll tell you a good story about 1988. Before we get off here, we got about 50 minutes in. 1988, the Dodgers, Earl Hershiser, which everybody knows who he is.
56 straight scoreless innings.
Well,
pretty good.
He versed Doc Gooden against the Mets to get out of their division to win, and Darryl Strawberry. Now, I remember seeing this game. I was a young guy. Kirk Gibson was on this team. Well, they beat the Mets, and they go on, and they play in the World Series, and that's the game where
Kirk Gibson hit where he's hurt.
Yeah. And he's up there swinging, and they're playing the Bash Brothers, McGuire and Hope Canseco. And when the long-haired Mexican guy with a little mustache come out, when I seen his face,
Martinez.
I hadn't even thought of this name in so long because I was really big into baseball. But as soon as I see him, I said, "That's Dennis Eckersley." I know exactly who that is.
Eckersley, not Martinez. Eckersley.
That's a top 5 pitcher of all
So
time.
he's the greatest closer to ever close a game. So he comes out on the mound, and they keep spanning the dugout to see that if Kirk Gibson's playing. Well, he's not playing. Well, they get up there, and most of the fans are already starting to leave because they had 2 outs. They put in some DH hitter to come up there and hit, and a young kid, and he gets walked. He gets put on base, and they wind up getting a hit over there, and he cranks, and he knew it because I almost said Wade Boggs. Kurt Gibson reminds me of Wade Boggs.
Yeah.
Kurt said he remembered reading the report saying when he gets you to 3-0, he's going to throw a backdoor slider. And he did, and he just reached out on that old bad knee. He had a bad knee.
So why did they decide to bat him? If he was in that bad a shape that night, well, I mean, why did Lasorda decide to put him out there?
Well, he didn't. He was in the back. The ball manager come down there and told Kurt. He said, the announcer upstairs is saying that they can't even find you in the dugout, and they're talking about you. He said, well, I'll show them. So he gets up and starts hitting balls off the tee, and his knee hurt. And he said, go up there and tell Tommy that I'm going to bat.
Tommy Lasorda.
So he goes to Tommy, and Kurt's story is, Tommy comes waddling down the hallway, and Kurt, you got to try to make a hit out there? And he said, I'm going to hit the ball. I'm going out there to play. So I think it's just from kind of getting razzed a little bit, and from him just being the super competitive guy that he is. So that gives him the win, and then of course they go on and win the series. And Earl Hershiser toted that team on his back. I mean, like a rented mule with 1,000 pounds of sausage on there going to the camping site. Hershiser toted that team. If any of you older guys our age remember that was a fantastic series. Go back and watch the '88 season there and the Dodgers.
Yeah, that was I remember that. I remember him batting. I'm like, golly, what if he gets a hit?
The A's were supposed to win that.
And then he knocks it out.
The A's won 104, 105 games that year. We're talking about McGuire and Canseco at their prime.
Do you know that Gibson, I knew the second he hit it, it was out. I'll tell you an interesting fact I found out about Kirk Gibson. A lot of people probably don't know this. He's Michigan State's second leading receiver all time.
I didn't know he played football.
I didn't either.
Well,
got to reading about it.
Is it the same Kirk Gibson?
Yep. Andre Rison. Y'all remember Andre Rison?
Yeah.
He broke his record at Michigan State.
Wow. Well, that's a good guy to break your record, though.
And then I found out this about Rison, reading about him. He played on one of the greatest he was the point guard up in Flint on one of the greatest high school basketball teams in not Michigan history, United States history. I mean, you're just talking about some super athletes. No, I had no idea Gibson was a great receiver. Sounds like he could have played in the NFL.
What position did he play in baseball? I just know he was a great hitter.
Was he a right fielder? Left fielder?
Who?
Gibson.
No,
I just remember him being a great hitter and hitting that iconic home run.
I think he played...
I don't really know.
I think he played
infield.
infield.
Young. I just know he played for the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, we could say the Braves should have a good season this year.
The World Series is going to be Dodgers and Yankees.
Dodgers, Yankees. That sounds about historic as it can get.
Yeah.
Kurt's got Gibson. He's got Parkinson's real bad. Is he still alive?
Oh no, does he?
Yeah, he's got pretty bad with Parkinson's.
Yes, he is.
They had their 30th year reunion at Dodger.
64 years old.
The stadium.
Talk about a stadium that needs to be rebuilt.
They let Kurt throw out the pitch to Oral Hershiser. Caught the pitch, but
does Oral Hershiser still call games for ESPN and the MLB Network?
Yeah, I see him on there. Well, it may have been last year.
Well, listen to this right quick before we get off here about Kirk Gibson. College football career was distinguished. He led the Michigan State Spartans to a tie for the Big Ten title, setting school and conference receiving records, and starring in the Hula and Senior Bowl, and made All-American.
Wow.